Good afternoon and welcome to the 2018 NCAA Tournament West Regional at Spokane Arena. A couple quick reminders before we get started. Please turn your cell phones to silent, and remember, video and flash photography are not allowed during the news conference. At this time, the team locker room is open to media members and will remain open for up to 30 minutes. Today's pool reporter is Tim Booth. We are joined now by head coach Gary Blair and student athletes Kyla Hilsman, Kennedy Carter, and Anriel Howard. We will begin with an opening statement from Coach Blair and then open the floor to questions for the student athletes. After exhausting questions for the student athletes, we will dismiss them and open for questions for the coach. Coach, made opening statement.
First, you had a well-run tournament. Spokane should be very proud of what they put on. I know you've had tournaments in the men and in the women as well, but this was as well-run of a tournament that we've been to. I was just telling my team in 13 years, we've been to 13, and of course in one of them we went all the way and won it. But in those other 12 losses, I could sit back and I could second guess myself on what we didn't do well, play the poor man's game, the what if, bad game, bad call, the other team just played great. I wouldn't change a thing. We played exceptionally well. Even though we were up 12 or 13 or whatever it was, we knew Notre Dame would come back. And they were hitting shots. They were doing what they needed to. That's why they're a #1 team and played the hardest schedule in the country. But I'm not going to change a thing. We played extremely well. The game was probably lost in the third quarter when we came out, I thought, flat. And we were trying for the perfect play or whatever, and they showed the aggression that we didn't show, that we were showing in the first and the second quarter. But we made so many good things happen. I know Muffet, when she comes in here, she's going to say, my gosh, she's got 1, 2, 3 more games to play if she expects to win it. But she saw somebody today in Texas A&M that's going to show her how to win it. And what we've got to do, remember, we shot 23% in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, we went back to doing our thing. And Kennedy and Kyla and Anriel were just, they were having their way. I think it really hurt us in the second quarter when I had to protect Anriel because she had 2 fouls. One of the fouls never should have happened because we made a mistake with somebody else, and it put her in a vulnerable position. And what we've got to do as a basketball team, grow from this, get better. I really believe we're even going to be better than ever next year. But these 3 up here, if there's 10 to 20 better players in the country than these 3 up here, I'd like to see them because I'm proud of them, what they've done. Howard's game in the last 2 to 3 weeks has elevated us. She's doing it all. And who cares if you're only 5'11", if you're a basketball player and has the heart. Hilsman went against their All-American Shepherd, and it was an even ball game, 13 points apiece. That one down on the end might be the next face of this basketball team, but Howard was our most valuable player in this tournament for what she did with the energy. Hilsman was our most important player because she had to stop their All-American, and she did it as well as she could, and their kid Shepherd did it as well as they could on there. Kennedy special. More and more kids are going to want to play with this young lady to come in because we've got a Final Four run in us, just like Notre Dame has made it for the last time. We've got the consistency of going to tournaments and Sweet 16s and Elite 8s. Notre Dame's got the consistency of playing for national championships every year. So give them credit for what they're doing. Go.
We will now take questions for the student athletes only. Please direct your questions to specific student athletes. We'll have microphones passed around. Please raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question.
Robert Sesson, Bryan College Station Eagle. Kennedy, could you talk about that third quarter? Coach talked, he thought you come out a little bit slow. What did you think, and what was the problems maybe that quarter?
They just came out pretty quick, and they got the momentum in the third quarter. You know, we kind of laid down just a little bit. Energy went down, effort went down. And so we tried to pick it back in the fourth quarter, but we just got to come out from halftime ready to play. That's just the big thing with us. We kind of laid down a little bit. They hit a couple shots. They got the crowd going, and the game was, their way. So we just got to work on that, get better.
Andrea, when you guys got off to that good start, you were a big part of it. Coach talked about your game. What do you feel was working for you and your team at that point when you took that 12-point lead?
I think that my teammates and I, we were sharing the ball. We were finding the open player, and we were knocking down some pretty good shots. They were looking for me, and when I was open, and I knocked down some.
Matt Coper with Texags. Kennedy, how proud of you are you of this team? Was your first season as a freshman, and you guys made it, this far into the tournament.
I'm very proud. The way that we played this whole tournament and this whole year really just showed how strong we really are. We stayed together. We first faced a lot of adversity. We're in the Southeastern Conference. That's one of the hardest conferences to me, if not the hardest conference. So I'm just proud of the way we came out and played. They're a great team. So I'm just blessed, and we're going to be without Kyla next year, but we're going to try to have a better season and make her proud.
Ryan McDonald's Battalion Student Newspaper. Kyla, obviously this is your last game. What has your time at Texas A&M meant to you?
Man, I'm gonna cry now. It's been special, I've been so blessed to be able to play and meet and form so many relationships with these people. I've played with Kennedy for 1 year. She's already one of my favorite players I've ever played with. Ariel, well, near and dear to my heart. I swear I wouldn't trade it for the world. Jazz, been around her for about 10 years, and it's just been incredible being able to play with somebody that you've had a relationship with since high school, and even before that. And just all the relationships that I've formed from my older teammates that are on to bigger and better things now. The coaches, they've meant a lot to me. They've helped me out in rough times, and they really, Coach Starkey and Coach Bond, they really have done some incredible things for me. Coach Blair giving me the opportunity and staying on me and believing in me, and Coach Wright. She's the silent assassin. She does a lot, but it's behind the scenes, so no one would ever know. But it's just been incredible. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm getting a first-class education. I formed relationships I'm going to have for the rest of my life, and it's just been really special, and I'm just really glad I had this opportunity.
Can you talk about the problems matching up three-point shooting with them? They had a pretty big day shooting threes. Why were they a tough matchup there?
They're a great three-point shooting team. We faced a lot of good three-point shooting teams. We just made some unsmart decisions on defense, which led them to get players wide open on the three. They had a player that went 7 for 11 for 3. That's probably what hurt us the most. She's one of the best players on the team. We just got to lock down. We let her get open. We let her get in the rhythm, and we can't do that.
If I can interject on that, they scored 21 points on inbounds plays. That's the most in the history A&M's ever given up in their life. That was the three. I think we were defending the three and half-court offense as well as we could against a great team. But 21 points on inbounds plays, that was the difference in the ball game.
Do we have any other questions for the student athletes? At this time, we dismiss the student athletes to the locker room. Just a reminder, the Texas A&M locker room is currently open for media members. We will now move to questions for Coach.
Coach, Matt Coper with TexAgs.com. Just the same question I asked Kennedy. How proud are you of this team and the season you guys were able to put together?
Like I said earlier, I wouldn't change a thing because our talent base keeps growing. We might not get some of all the McDonald All-Americans that some of these other teams get, but I think we develop kids. That's our strength. We have kids that play hard. We have kids that play smart the majority of the time. I've got a great coaching staff, and if it isn't broken, we're going to keep rolling with it. But these three up here, incredible talent for many minutes as they're having to play. When you look at the stat line, we won the 4 points in the paint, 16-7 off turnovers, 16-15 second chance, 12-2 on fast break, 6-0 on bench. We needed to run more, but I give you a hint. We were taking the ball out of the net too many times in the second half. And then when we did run, we converted. But that's a lot of mileage on those young people's legs, and sometimes you just don't have it, particularly on the offensive rebounds. We missed a few putbacks that we should have had, and then that's what saved them in the second half was their putbacks by their guards, particularly 24.
Coach, it seemed like in the fourth quarter when they were building their lead, they did a lot of isolation stuff and one-on-one stuff from the high post. That hurt you a little bit, it seemed like. Your thoughts?
We tried to mix it up, playing our matchup, our bump 2-3 zone with some man. We finally had to switch to man on inbounds plays. I was going bananas over there because we were making mistakes, and Mabry was just walking right back in. They run some very, very good man-to-man stuff off the 1-4 high series. Nobody we have faced this year has a duck-in move as well as Shepherd. I mean, she gets down low. Hillsman did as good as she could, and but I think it's good. I think that girl's going to make a lot of money when she finally graduates because I think she's a great player. I think Notre Dame could get hurt by some faster teams that have a longer bench than us that could rotate more guards in. We just didn't have that, okay? But you got teams like Louisville, and that's the only thing that I could see that could hurt Notre Dame. But they're a very good ball club, and with their 1-4 set, I'd like to run it a little bit more myself, but we saw 95% man in the game. I mean 95% zone and triangle and two. Saw a little bit of that.
Coach, can you describe the impact of some of the seniors like Hillsman and what it's been like to coach her for 4 seasons at A&M?
Well, she's grown so much. She came from a great high school. You know the story. That's where Michelle Obama is from. Michael Jordan sent his kids there, and Okafor played there, and it's just a great high school. So she had the balance coming in. She was our most gifted ACT scorer. Mays Business School. That's a lot better than you and I when we graduated. And all of a sudden, she's grown. She's going to be a pro. She's going to be a pro because she's got a heart. She's not going to have to go play 37 minutes a ball game for a pro team, and I think that will make her a better team. But she cares about her teammates so much, and I think that's what separates her. She doesn't have that eye in her forehead. She cares about those teammates, and she embraces A&M, what A&M has to offer to just the regular student or student athlete. Look, y'all have got enough of me. The story should be on Notre Dame, and they need to get out and scout this next game. So is that enough questions? Go, Robert.
How much more would one more score outside help you against that zone? And you mentioned matchup because you really only had 3 scorers a lot of the time.
Well, I got one coming next year in Wilson. So I ain't worried at all. She can fill it up from outside. So Wilson's going to be a big help for us, and Johnson's going inside. So I think we'll be in great shape.
All right.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you for your time.